the church. We've got Phil here. Do you want to talk to this, or I can just? I think this was a statement rather than a presentation, wasn't it?
From the church.
From the church, yeah.
Oh yeah, don't.
Well, I just want to bring to people's attention that there is a statement from the church, so that value the building, what the church does, and you may want to say a few words to this, just so that everyone knows what's been put on record.
Yeah, I mean, the initial brief that we had was that to put something together which might inform everybody what the church is hoping or expecting to do over the coming years. Given the timescales, that was never going to be a possibility. But what I tried to do was think about where we're going in terms of what steps we're taking to look towards the future. Most of you will have come into contact with the church in some way or another via the building. You've been in there for some sort of event or worship or concert or something. Or you come into contact with me or someone else from the church, perhaps as a result of some sort of joyful or sad crisis in life relating to funerals or weddings or christenings. So that's how but figuring in all that is the church as a building, and our thinking is that we need to plan better for the building ongoing. Now the building that you see, the church has been here as a church community for about 800 years, but that building, most of what you see is actually Victorian, with an older tower, and it's pretty much unchanged since that time. We're needing to plan what we've got to do with the building in order to meet our role, and I think the church would see its role as called by God to serve the community in which we're set. What we need to do is unclear, and we've set up initial meetings with the diocese, which are the people that we're responsible to for the building, in order to begin a process of thinking through, first of all, what could be done, what might be done, what have other people done, how do you go about thinking these things through, what processes are there?
We've been involved in, just on that point, we've been involved in quite a few neighbourhood plans where they said we need a new community hall, we don't have enough space, and the church is saying, well, we've got this building that sits empty a lot of the time. They've been removing pews to create more sort of meeting spaces. They've had all sorts of events that would have gone in a village hall, but they didn't have a village hall. And the church has benefited from sort of income revenue stream. In some instances where the building's been very precious and listed, and it's gone back many years, they've had to get permission to remove some pews to create space. Others it's been more straightforward. And these are sorts of things you want to repurpose the building to try and have a whole range of activities you're currently not.
At this stage, I'd never rule anything in or out in terms of what might change. But one of the things we clearly need to do as part of the process, and at what point I hope that we're going to get from our diocesan advisors, is to ask the community what they would like to see. How, if we're here serving the community, what is it that the community might want us to do? Now, if we can do that, then obviously we would want to consider it. And maybe some things that is simply impossible. But we would want to know and to begin to build it into our plans. So one of the things here, is that the school, we're heavily involved with the school. It is a church school, but the church supports the school in a particular way, in that the school has no hall, or not a hall big enough to gather the whole school in, or to do any of the things that schools do, like end of year presentations and events and stuff. That all takes place in the church. The church opens that itself up to that. And that's a particularly important contribution to the whole community.
And the tower, the church tower must be the tallest building in the village, yeah?
Yes, the vantage point from the tower is the tallest, and it's the oldest.
The oldest part.
And it's the biggest auditorium in the village.
Just the children this morning were talking about the zip line. Just as you have
I bet they were.
So if we put you two together, I'm sure.
Go first up.
Thank you, this is great, we've got a good record. We could talk for a long time about it, so I think this afternoon we'll get, are you with us today as well?
I can't be here this
Okay.
afternoon.
Right, we'll sort the zip line out in your absence. But I think this is important, there's a building here, a very important building, that is open to ideas, and we'll try and explore some of that. Of course,
I'm happy to take any questions.
Yeah, any particular question for Phil, but we do have quite a few of those.
I think that's my cue to
No,
leave.
that's all right. Thank you very much for putting that in.